Alright, Act 1, Chapter 3, Tea with Yuri. Today's class were pretty uneventful. Just catching up on some material for the upcoming tests. I look over at the clock. Almost. The bell finally rings and I walk out into the hall. Time for a club meeting. I've gotten more comfortable over the past couple of days. I enter the club room and the usual scene greets me. Hi, MidBit. Hey, Sayori. You're in a good mood today, huh? I'm still just getting used to you being in the club is all. Ah, I see. It's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. It's always the simple things with you anyway. Yeah, I guess so. Have fun today. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation. Yuri's reading her book, and Natsuki's in the closet. Kind of want to talk to Yuri again. I read a little more of her book last night. Now that things have gotten more interesting, I want to continue reading with her. I look behind and spot Yuri. Get up from my desk and walk over to her. Hey, Yuri. Eh? Uh, I noticed that Yuri's reading a different book from the one we've been reading together. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your reading. No. I was just kind of waiting for you. If that's the case, would you like to go ahead and get started? Yes, let's. Actually, Midbit, I do have a request. Do you mind if I make some tea first? Not at all, Yuri. Thank you very much. There's one thing that can make my reading time here any better, it's a nice cup of tea. Would you like some as well? I mean, if it's not that much trouble. I really enjoyed it last time. Yuri beams at me. I can already tell she's very enthusiastic about the reading session. Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelf, kind with a filter inside. Could you hold this for a second? Sure. After Yuri hands me the water pitcher. Oh, whoops. She fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this in, and I'll go get some water. Sounds good. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts her speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? Sure, here you are. I carefully hand Yuri the water pitcher. Thanks. I'll be right back. I might as well walk with you. Sure, why not? Shall we go then? Yeah, let's go. Hmm? All of a sudden, Monica appeared from behind us, almost as if she was listening in on our conversation. Is something bad gonna happen? She was technically eavesdropping. Hmm. It took me by surprise at first, but I remained calm. Where are you guys off to? Eh? Yuri was going to make some tea before we started reading, so... It does sound strange having to explain this to Monica, now that I think about it. You were just going to fill the water pitcher. Okay. Sorry. I was just a bit curious. It's kind of a one-person job, isn't it? That's... Before I can finish my statement, Yuri interrupts. What's she gonna say? Oof. Monica, would you please mind your own business for once? Or do you want me to tell that there's something wrong with helping involve MidBit in club activities? This isn't technically a club activity since it's only between the two of us, but... Eh? I remain quiet, unable to say anything. Even I would be stunned. Oh, I suppose there's nothing wrong with that, and she still thinks something bad might happen. Then let's go. Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. Oh no. Once in the hallway, Yuri suddenly presses her forehead against the wall. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri? It just... Something about the way she said that made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me? You must think I'm a horrible person now. No, Yuri. I think you did the right thing. I didn't expect that, but it's also not right for Monica to judge people like that. It's not just with Monica, but what happened with Natsuki yesterday. I was horrible then too. Yuri, you know that wasn't your fault. You even apologized to the whole club. So no, Yuri, you're not a horrible person. You're far from it. I've only known you for a short time, but I can tell you by the way you act that you're not being intentionally rude. You're a good person, and I believe that. A bit. Yuri looks in my direction. How come even when I do something bad, you're always being nice to me? Because nothing that you do is as bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect, Yuri. You have emotions. You can't hide them away. But you can always amplify things in your head. Your mind will turn a light rain shower into a hurricane. No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate you for having emotions. What kind of a friend would do that? Ooh, we called her a friend. Friend, you say. Yuri lifts her head a bit. I don't hope you mind me saying, but I really like being friends with you. Aww. That's cool. That's sweet. Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you too. It feels a bit awkward saying something like that, especially after Yuri and I just met. But I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. I can only help. I can only hope that talking to and befriending her will do just that. Anyway, yeah. Shall we go? Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. We fill up the water pitcher and make our way back to the classroom. Yuri and I enter the club once again, and with the now filled water pitcher in my hands. As we make our way back to the tea set, Yuri stops me. Hey, MidBit. Yeah? Could you give me a moment? I wanted to go and apologize to Monica. I know that it wasn't a big deal, but I'd like to do it if I may. I smile to myself, reaffirming the good judgment I made about her. Sure, go ahead. I'll take care of the water pitcher. Thank you. Yuri walks over to Monica. She's sitting at her desk, her nose in a book. I watch from afar. Yuri timidly taps her finger on Monica's desk. It's as if she's poking at a bee's nest, afraid of the consequences. Hey Monica, may I speak with you for a moment? Monica looks up from her book. Oh, hi Yuri. Monica folds the top of her book page to keep track of where she left off and closes it. Sure, what would you like to discuss? About what I said earlier. I wanted to apologize. I didn't mean it. I shouldn't have said those things. I'm sorry, Monica. I hope you don't hate me. Oh, Yuri. I know you didn't mean it. I accept your apology, and I'm sorry for intervening. I was only looking out for you and MidBit. Yuri suddenly smiles, feeling a sense of relief. So we're okay then? Of course, Yuri. No hurt feelings at all. Aww. Monica gets up from her seat and hugs Yuri. That's sweet. I've said this a lot, but I'm liking both Sayori and Monica's roles so far. Even if it was something so trivial, I was happy to see them make up for it. Well, you and MidBit have fun. Let me know if you need anything. I... thank you, Monica. Anytime, Yuri. Yuri makes her way back to my desk. Everything good? Yeah, Monica was totally fine with it. No hurt feelings at all. Great. Shall we start making tea then? Yes, of course. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees. Now I'll need the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert at tea or anything. In that case, you'll only be even more impressed. Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea leaves. It's quiet between us. All of a sudden, Yuri starts humming to herself. You must be in a good mood. Is that so? I got all excited. I was letting it show. And you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking. And I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. It turns out that it's not very hard for me to do. When it's you who's around anyway. That's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me a little bit. It's very endearing. That's... Yuri wasn't kidding. I didn't even know if I can keep up with this. And feelings have started to develop. I watched Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. It did. I have another request. Sure, ask away. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Sure, I don't mind. May I ask why? It's a bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than being hunched over at my desk. I just find it more comfortable. Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. If I had known sooner, I would have gladly sat on the floor. No need to apologize. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? I wonder why that is. It's most likely because of my... my... It's great talking about her... posterior. Oh, I need to fix the situation, just so things don't get more awkward. Your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading. Yes, I have a terrible reading posture. That's why you should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go grab the book. I go and retrieve the book from my bag. As I'm doing so, I notice I have a bag of chocolates. I kept it hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take the bag of chocolates, since it'll go well with the tea. Yuri sat up against the wall. I join her on the floor. We assume the same reading position as last time, each one holding half of the book, except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. Oh no, how am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri is always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Oh no. Your teacup. Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding up to the hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus. Because now, I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a thing. She wears her intense reading expression. I can only presume the world around her has already faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. Oh no. Oh my goodness. After a few minutes, I finally managed to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumbled with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want. That's okay. I won't take any. Are you sure? I don't mind at all. Well, if I touch it, then it might get smudges in the pages. You're right. I didn't even think about that. My bad. No need to apologize. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. Aww. Yuri holds the book with both hands. She holds it so I won't have a difficult time reading from it. but as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, I take a chocolate candy and pop it into my mouth. I then take another chocolate and hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation was completely natural. And that means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth, and just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Eh? Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. Bit. Sorry. I probably shouldn't have done that. Ah, that's... Well, you were just helping. That's what friends do, right? I mean, not really in this case, but that's what friends do. Yes, Yuri. Yeah, that's all it was. Right. Then you don't need to stop her or anything. She's insisting. I see. The situation has gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book. I can tell by her expression that even she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers. But this time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. I notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her breaths. I raise my arm to her mouth. Like before, Yuri parts her lips. But it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her hot breath on my fingers. Oh my goodness, nice one, Monica. Way to segue things. Okay, everyone. Wow. Yuri suddenly jolts back. Sign to share poems. Bit. You can help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Sure. Of course. Okay, thanks. When you guys are finished, we can all get started. The spell is abruptly broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yeah. Yuri picks up the cups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling that this is something neither of us will neither. Sorry. Let me do it again. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. It's probably for the best. Okay, everyone. We're all done sharing each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if anyone could come and sit at the front of the room. Everyone, sorry. Is this about the festival? Well, sort of. Do we really need to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members. That's a concern of mine as well. I didn't really do well with the last minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We'll keep it very simple, okay? We don't need much more than a few decorations. So Yuri has been working on the posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event. Okay, that's great and all, but what are we actually doing for the event? Sorry. I thought you heard already yesterday. We're going to be performing. Performing? Monica. Yeah. We're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. So Yuri is putting it all. I'm brain farting. So Yuri is putting it on all the posters in any case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you? Well, I have actually. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, no. It's It's not a bad idea. But I didn't sign up for this, you know. There is no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that. I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that. Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys, no, Sayori. I understand where they're coming from. Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just recently. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that, so I'm sorry. However, I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. Yeah, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun. That's right. And those are the reasons. Oh my goodness, I'm brain farting. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. That leaves me with no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit. Well, maybe, but it looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Okay, fine. I guess I just have to get it over with. Alright. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri glances around at everyone else's expectant faces. Sigh. I guess I don't really have much of a choice. Aha! That's everyone. You're the best, Yuri. This club is seriously gonna be the death of me. Oh gosh, you'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Can I go next, Monica? Of course. Now let's see. Monica flips through her notebook to a specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. The title of the poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has that intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles. That's so good, Monica. Well, thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Actually, may I go next, Monica? Sure, if Sayori's alright with it. Yeah, I'm fine with you going next, Yuri. Thank you, Sayori. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over the podium. This poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri. It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. She's practically putting in so much effort. As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. The poem is full of twists and turns, and its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she's bewildered, even herself. It's up to me to save this situation. I start applauding. Everyone joins me afterwards, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her. We were just so caught off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat. That was really good, Yuri. Thank you for sharing. I think Yuri has had enough peer pressure for today. Okay. I guess I'm up next then. Yuri hops out of her chair. Yuri hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium. She takes a deep breath and begins reciting her poem. The poem is cheery and full of happy imagery. Somehow, it feels like her soft voice was made a perfect match. If it's a poem with happy imagery, does that mean she's depressed? It's a rather simple poem that it feels deep at the same time, hence her signature bittersweetness. Sayuri finishes and we applaud. I did it! It came out nicely, Sayori. Well done. Now who's next? Natsuki? Don't make me go before MidBit. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let MidBit lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it. Wow! Natsuki. It's fine. I'll do my best. I don't have much of a selection to read. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and sit in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel awkward. Regardless, I recite my poem. I have a bit of a hard time at first. I truly tried my best to add inflection to it, similar to Monica's. Everyone seems to be at least moderately engaged. I finish my poem and receive a round of applause from the girls. I'm sorry if I'm not as good as everyone else. Don't worry about it so much. You actually did pretty good for your first time. You think so, Monica? Yeah, you have the ability to perform. I can tell. I think you just need to work a little bit more on your confidence. That's something that you'll improve over time, though. I hope so. I'd hate to give anything mediocre the performance. No, MidBit. You'll do great. I nodded to sit back down in my seat. Alrighty then. That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah. I'm going. Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. The poem is called... Why are you all looking at me? Because you're presenting... Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. When she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. Once Natsuki is still unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. The words feel like they bounce up and down, as if giving life to the poem. Hence the title Jump. Natsuki finishes, and everyone applauds. She hops back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it? Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Well, do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people? I mean, doing it in front of other people would be way easier. I can put whatever face I want for other people. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. That's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's just how it is, so... Well, I guess in that case, you don't have much to worry about for the festival. With that said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure to pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets. So let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Jeez, I should probably find some other poem to recite instead. That's fine too. Doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy. Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival is coming up, and let's try to recite poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait. I can do this. I can do this. Alright, sounds good. You stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monica, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club, then I'll have to do my best. Ready to go, Sayori? Yep. Sayori and I make our way out of the club and walk home together. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things have already changed. But today, Sayori's been a little quieter than usual on the way home. Oh no! Please don't tell me she has the big sad. It doesn't seem like she's upset though. She seems very happy, or so unusual. What does this mean? Hey Sayori. Sorry, I was spacing out. No wonder. I was just thinking about something from earlier. Oh no, what's that? Okay. I was just about to ask what's that about. You've been spending a lot of time with Yuri. I mean, I was just curious. Do you like her? Oh no. Eh? What do you mean? What kind of question is that? Like I said, I was just curious. There's nothing wrong with it if you do. Either way, your secret is safe with me. You promise? I promise. Sayori is my best friend. I can trust her on this, right? Well, from what we just said, it implies that we already have feelings for Yuri, and does Sayori have the big sad in this mod? Well, just because it's a Yuri-centered mod, and I'm really curious on... Like I said from my first video, I do want this mod to surprise me, so... I like Yuri. Aha! You admitted it! Jeez. There, I said it, okay? Are you happy now? I am. I'm very happy for you. You're so pretty and smart. She'd be great for you. I'm blushing. I can feel sweat forming in my uniform. Please tell me you won't mention this to the other members, especially Yuri. Don't worry, I won't. But you... Oh, why? So Yuri's insisting we confess? That's new. I would feel awful if I told her instead of you. I will eventually. Still a bit early, I think. I understand. Well, I'll see you later, MidBit. See you tomorrow, Sayori. The conversation trails off and I'm left feeling awkward. Sayori kind of did put me on the spot. I guess Sayori can see right through me. I can't just lie to her though. I can easily trust her. She's my best friend after all. I enter my house and immediately go up in my bedroom. I'm not really in the mood for a snack. I sit down at my desk for a moment. Sigh. Today was interesting to say the least. It's only been a few days and I'm already developing feelings for Yuri. Does she feel the same way about me? I wonder. She's always been reclusive and reserved, at least since I've known her, but she doesn't mind talking to me. I can only imagine how much speaking she did before I came to the literature club. I shouldn't think too hard about this though. I hate to rush things, especially since I'm not sure how she feels. I'll tell her how I feel when the time is right. In the meantime, I'll just write a poem for tomorrow. I'm feeling inspired and I don't want to lose my train of thought.